Hey, I'm Skipper Davies. I'm a project manager in tech focused on cloud infrastructure and cybersecurity. Today we'll be exploring flAWS.cloud. I found this while I was looking for a variety of ways to do some pen testing and fun things. Not really trying to chase a certification or do things like that. I'm just trying to explore a little bit, maybe record the experience. And these videos, I'm not really planning on editing them or polishing them. This is just more of like, real time exploration of just different things. So we'll see how this goes. A lot of my experience is in Azure, not AWS, and it's on the project management side, not on being a hands-on pen tester or software engineer. So keep that in mind when you're watching this. But yeah, let's just jump right into it. Should be able to see everything. We're using a Kali virtualized environment here, and we have this flAWS. Welcome to the flAWS challenge. Let's see here, through a series of levels, you'll learn about common mistakes and gotchas using Amazon Web Services. There are no SQL injection, XSS buffer overflows, or many other vulnerabilities you might have seen before. As much as possible, these are AWS specific issues. That's interesting. A series of hints will be provided that will teach you how to discover the info you'll need. If you don't want to actually run any commands, you can just keep following the hints, which will give you the solution to the next level. At the start of each level, you'll learn how to avoid the problem the previous level exhibited. Everything is run out of a single AWS account, and all the challenges are subdomains of flAWS.cloud. So this information right here would be interesting, especially if I knew more about how to exploit things, which I don't. But that's good to know. The fact that everything is being run out of a single AWS account, I'll have to file that away in the good old noggin there. Let's see here. Feedback's welcome. Yeah, we know all that. Got all the stuff. Level 1. This level is buckets of fun. Buckets is an indicator there, no doubt. See if you can find the first subdomain. Need a hint? Visit hint 1. I wouldn't know how to go about this unless I Googled around, which I could do. You will see me periodically, by the way, looking this way. That's because I have another laptop over that way where I have some reference material and sometimes a little bit of chat's going as well. So if I get distracted, that's why that's happening. And anyway, we'll take a look at hint 1. It's probably the fastest thing for me to do in terms of learning. So let's go ahead and take a look. We know that buckets is probably going to be something there. And we also know that everything is in a single AWS account. And that's kind of what we know about this. And we also know what not to look for. There's no SQL injection or other things like that. These are all AWS specific vulnerabilities. So we know all that information. Hit 1. Okay, let's take a look. Okay, so it's hosted in an S3 bucket, so bucket was a key term. This is a great way to host a static site, similar to hosting one via GitHub pages. Some interesting facts about S3 hosting. When hosting a site as an S3 bucket, bucket name must match the domain name. Okay. So buckets are a global namespace, meaning two people cannot have buckets with the same name. Okay, well that's good to know. Result of this is you could create a bucket named apple.com, and Apple would never be able to host their main site via S3 hosting. That's interesting. You can determine the site is hosted as an S3 bucket by running a DNS lookup on the domain, such as, and then it has a, I'm going to zoom in a little bit here because my eyes aren't what they used to be. Okay, yeah, so there's like a dig command that they're doing and stuff like that. Okay. Let's go ahead and, that didn't do. There we go. I guess that's better. I got my terminal over here open as well. I guess I could copy paste this, but I could copy paste that, but then I wouldn't remember the command as well. So I'll probably just type it out the old fashioned way. Probably going to script the command too. And I don't even know if this is going to work, actually. It may not even work in my terminal because I don't know if I have dig install, like the ability to have it installed or anything. If I do that. Okay, so we did get some, okay, so it is working. Maybe it just works by default, I don't know, I don't remember. I don't use that all the time, very, very frequently these days, although that's probably gonna change if I do more security stuff. So we have all this stuff going on here, so returns, so this has returns, flAWS.cloud, which we have all that stuff, and then 5NA, blah, blah, blah. I guess it's like, is that 5A record? Is that referring to A records? I don't know. Actually, we can actually figure that out. So one thing that we can do is go here. We're going to use a good old AI to help us out with here. And what we're going to ask is take a look. Ooh, it's real slow. Take a look at the following. I am using an underpowered computer, so forgive me for that. Is we'll do 5NA referring to A records. What is the slow? Meaning, let's take a look. Let's see what happens. Yes, A refers to the address record, A record in DNS. That's what I thought. I wasn't totally sure. Again, project manager here, not a security expert per se, although I do have some background security. But it's not like, you know, I have like decades of experience being like a pen tester or something. So, okay, okay, yep, we cleared that. Time to live in seconds, yep, so we have five of those. Internet, okay, yeah, well that's good to know. Shows you how much I know. I know about these things. No, I don't know that it stands for the internet. Yeah. Okay, yep, and the A record, I knew about that. Yeah. IPv4, yep, that's good to know right there. Currently points, yep. And this is the specific address which we have, and we can see some of that there. Of course, this was looking at this, but I'm not seeing that result in my query, or in my command result, which is interesting. Okay, so if we visit this, it says it will redirect me to this Amazon.com S3 area, which would tell me that it is in an S3 bucket, is what it's saying. So if we go there 10 years later, oh my God, this is so slow. That's ridiculous. I may actually cut this part of the video out, who knows. If I left it in there, then I obviously haven't cut anything, because if I was gonna cut something out, I'd cut this out. Well, while we're waiting on that, man, that's taking forever. Maybe that's doesn't work anymore. One thing I could do this outside of so this is in a virtual machine, so that might be causing some weirdness maybe. So one thing we can do is take that there, get rid of that, and open up normal browser and see what happens. Whoa, that did not take me, or is it, I guess it's still loading actually. This is just like the Firefox screen. I was about to say, that's weird. No, that's just, it's not, it hasn't loaded anything yet, I guess. That's so weird. What if I Google this? Okay, so it has, yeah, so that makes not available. Okay, yeah, so that makes sense. And I would normally, you don't go to, if you get this warning, you might not want to go somewhere like that, but in this case we do want to go there because it's not going to be, you know, I mean, I would not expect this to be HTTPS, obviously, because of what we're using this for. Oh man, it's so slow though. Let's go back over here. Can't do it. Well, that's interesting. So what we could do, there's like a whole bunch of these. We just start looking at this, I guess. Oops. Let's try that. Okay, so that actually is taking us somewhere. S3 bucket. It's just kind of a, but it's not really quite what I was expecting, but man, we want to try every single one of these. I don't know if I want to have the patience for that. I guess normally I could have the patience for that, but I don't know if this could be exciting to look at. Oop. It's all taking us, to the same spot probably. I'm just gonna spot check these. I'm not gonna check every single one probably. Doing the same thing? Yeah, it's all doing the same thing. It's interesting there's this many of these though. Wondering why that is. Of course, it's another thing I could use good old AI for. Why are we having all this stuff showing up? Don't like that. Hate slow internet. Hate it. Hate it. Okay, so this is just not even, I'm kind of curious about this. That's a weird name there. It's in GitHub. Okay, so there's like more information here, but this is all the sort of stuff. I wonder who, this is kind of a weird, that almost sounds like Chinese. Maybe I'm just imagining things, but I wouldn't be surprised if there was some Chinese hacking person that was showing stuff. That's probably not true though. Now I'm going down a rabbit hole and figuring out who this person is. Maybe it's not a good use of my time because the internet's a little slow. Let's see, 12 followers. Hasn't posted. October 2021. Okay, so it's like kind of a new-ish account. I guess not that new. It's like 2026 now when I'm making this, but he doesn't have anything. I say he, but it could be anybody of any gender. So there's my bias showing. Okay, enough of that. Back to what we were doing. Boop, boop, boop. So basically all these at the same place. The domain points to, yeah, so it's pointing in there. It sure shows any, okay, that's good to know. All right, let's go back to where we were. So we did that command, we got all that stuff, we got all the information, we learned a whole bunch of things. It says it will redirect me to here. We go there. Let's see here. Where were we redirected to? Same, yeah. So we were. All those basically did lead to this. All roads led to Rome. Not surprising. So we know it's in an S3 bucket, which we already knew from a while back. Then you can do an NSLOOKUP command, do all this stuff. Autocomplete, yes I can. Okay. Actually, I'm not going to type this is done. I'm just going to paste that part. Let's see. Are we doing it? Oh, can't look it up? Really? Can't find it. Okay, can't find it. Oh, really? That's kind of weird. Maybe this is like old and this stuff isn't working anymore with the examples. Oh, I know why. Well, duh. Man, I'm an idiot. Well, of course it's not going to find it because it's not one of the current IP addresses. So, boy, that was dumb. Can't believe I just made that mistake. Attention to detail. Let's just do the first one in our result. And look at what that does. Ooh, can't find that either, huh? Why not? I mean, NSLOOKUP command. We are, okay, cool. So then it is working. So I was just doing a man command to make sure it's finding stuff. I mean, but it was giving me a response, so I'm not, like, it should work. I'm just gonna spot check a few of these. It may all be the same thing, and I just don't know what I'm doing. That's probably what's going on here. But oh no, that's not true. There was. Is that true? We got some results. No, I guess doing that doesn't do anything in terms of formatting. Yeah, so we do get something non-authoritative answer. This just feels kind of weird. Why is this not? IP address. Okay, so S3, yeah. US West 2. Okay, so we kind of know where that's hosted, I guess. There's probably other ways we could have figured out that information, I'm assuming, but that's interesting. So we know the US West 2 is a part of all this stuff. That's the same thing there, of course. But it was interesting, and this is something that we learned here. We had to look at more one result, because obviously we looked at, well, we looked at the wrong one, obviously, but like if we had just gone from this list, then if I just picked the first one, it wouldn't have given me anything. I had to look at 52, 218. So I skipped down, or I just did the second one. That was pretty much it. Now I'm curious if these would give me different results, or if it was just that top one that was the problem. So I'm just curious. Sorry if this is like elementary for you watching, but this is just me doing random stuff. Okay, so we can't find that. You paste it correctly? It was 3578224. Yeah, I think we did that right. It's real interesting. So it's not consistent with all these. That's interesting. That's probably something basic again that I'm missing, but that's fine. I just was curious. We found some interesting things. I wonder if it's all like, if it would all get us the same information though. Because like, if any of these are like, somewhere else other than that, probably not. There's probably all, I would imagine it's all in the same spot based off of what I know about things, but yeah, this was West 2. So that was also another random one I grabbed. I don't even know which one that was. Let's see, that was 52218. Up here, that was the last one. Okay, so I just grabbed the last one. All right, yeah. So that's, yep. Okay, so it's getting us the same spot, basically, same place, US West 2. All right, let's keep going. US West 2, okay. All right, not useful for this game, but side note, all S3 buckets, when configured for web hosting, are given an AWS domain you can use to browse to it without setting up your own DNS. In this case, this can be visited by going to here, US West 2. Makes sense. All right, so, and yes, it brings us right to the same page we're on right here, see? So this, well, not the one part, I guess, but the first page, the original page, it's the same as this. And then actually you can even see this information in the link, which is fun. Okay, so what will help you for this level is to know its permissions are a little loose. Either another hint, go to hint 2. Permissions are a little loose. So I can either Google this and be like, how do I find out more about the permissions of a site? Might be able to do that. Or I could say, how do I find the permissions of a site that's hosted as an S3 bucket? I could do that, or I could just click on hint 2 and then do all the stuff. I guess we can look up some things. So let's say I have an S3 site. Is that how I want to word that? Let me think. A site that's hosted as an S3 bucket. Yeah, okay. Let's say I have a site hosted as an S3 bucket. how do I find out the permissions for this if the permissions are a little loose? This is being done as a part of an exercise, not a malicious activity. See what happens. Woo! Sorry about that. I have a small screen here, that's the problem. Okay, here we go. Wow, scroll wheel goes real far with this for some reason, sorry about that. Check the permissions of an S3 bucket. Inspect its policies and configurations using the AWS CLI, yes. I don't have that, I don't think. Or the AWS measurement console. Ooh. I don't think I have access to that yet, though. It's good information to know if I had access. Public access. Okay. I don't think I can do that from outside though. For configuration settings for public. Okay. Have access? No. Let's see here. Oop, sorry. Testing bucket. Externally without credentials. This is what we wanted, yes. To simulate what an outside observer sees, you can attempt to list or read the files using standard HTTP requests. And this is not HTTPS either. Okay. Let's see here. Okay. Okay, yeah, so then, okay, I think I know what to do, maybe. We'll see about that. Actually, so here's what we'll do. This is what we'll do. We'll use this regular link for the initial page. And I'm gonna put this onto the end of it, which I don't know exactly what this does. But it says to maybe do that, maybe that's what it says. Maybe it doesn't do anything. It's type 2, okay. I'm not seeing anything. It worked. Let's take a look. It's gonna give me the same thing. Explain. That's interesting. That's interesting. Okay, we got that. I'm not seeing anything else. Detection should not occur. Is there something I'm missing? Attention to detail wise that I didn't see. I don't think so. That's interesting. Why should I inspect this maybe? I don't know. Result, if it returns an XML list of files, the bucket has public listing enabled. If it returns access denied, the listing is secured. Well, let's figure out, let me make sure I'm actually doing this right. So in this example, using the link you are providing, if this was an actual link where I would be doing this, I would go to and do that, and I would append Dishonch to end of it, I think, is what is supposed to be happening here. Ooh, can I not? Okay. Okay, I think I did that right, the way I wanted to. Not quite, it says. Well, yeah, exactly like this. Bucket name. Oh, okay, so I'm probably not doing it correctly. Sorry. Bucket name. Cloud. Okay, so now it's using the flAWS.cloud stuff, even though I don't think I told it anything about that. Maybe I did. Oh, maybe I did. Let's see, did I? Oh yeah, no, I did. I told it up here, so it knows kind of what's going on. No trailing underscores after the bucket name. All right, I guess I better stop beating around the bush. This is wrong. Let's do that. Google, this is well known, so Google's gonna, or Gemini's gonna know about this. Yep, it will. Yep. Okay, so both these very cool requests. Okay, so it'd be S3. So because we knew it was an S3 bucket, basically what we have already here is this. Let's take that out of there. We basically have this, or that, I guess. So basically, because we know it's an S3 bucket, what I could have done, since I know better now by reading this, is I just could have done .s3.amazonaws.com, and then it looks, and because this is US West 2, you could do that. Okay. We're not doing CLI stuff, stop that. So now I'm curious if this is actually like giving me like a good way to do this, or if this is just BSing me, because sometimes Gemini does that. So let's do this, the backslash included. There we go. Okay. All right, so then that's nice. This got us. So this, we're not even supposed to have this, I don't think. I'm not supposed to be able to access that. So I'm just rereading this again, sorry. Yep. All that, so we know it's supposed to, yep. Yep, we got that. Cool, all right, and this was kind of helpful a little bit. Parts of this were, we don't need to know that. Okay, so we do know that, so we have. I'm just looking at this. Last modified in 2017. Oh, I have like a whole bunch of things. A hint 2, hint 3. I don't know all the significance of this information, or how useful this is, or if it's useful, or if I'm in the right spot for this, or if I did the right thing. So what we'll do now is we'll go to hint 2. So I know, yep, I knew about the bucket named flAWS.cloud. It's S3 buckets in US West 2. Know that's that region, or whatever that is. Using the AWS CLI. Okay, I don't know if we have that. There's a link to it, maybe. Oh man. Do I need to log in or something? Better not. I think I'm gonna have to create an account. that may be a good stopping point for the video, because I might need to check to make sure I can actually do the rest of the exercises there. But that was interesting. So what did we learn? There was a couple things, at least, that I learned. So learned how to use the dig command a little bit more. This was actually interesting. There's a bunch of other things like this, multi-line, null, answer. So there's a few additional things we included. We didn't just do a straight up dig command. We did like a whole bunch of other things in there. So this is interesting, and it was interesting formatting. We also learned that there's a bunch of different IP addresses that it returned, and we also learned that we didn't get the same results when we did an NSLOOKUP command after that. And then the NSLOOKUP command told us that this was an S3 website, and that it was in US West 2, which are both good to know. And then we also learned question mark, that I could write, because we did know it was an S3 bucket, we could add on .s3.amazon.aws.com, and then append backslash or slash, I'll just say slash, question mark list type equals to blah blah blah, and then that would actually take us here where we have this XML stuff. So that's what we learned today so far. But yeah, I'm gonna have to take a look and stop the video there and take a look at if I can actually get access to what I need access to do the next part. Until then, if you like this video, hit like and subscribe. May not be the most exciting content that there ever was, but you know, this is just me stumbling along, so hopefully someone finds it helpful. Thanks. Bye-bye.